Hello everybody and welcome back to Crusader Kings, where the question becomes, who do we go after next? I mean, there's a lot of good options here. We've got a lot of cleanup that needs to happen over here, over here. I'm actually thinking that we want to get our kingdom claim on Navarra done though. Now this is going to be a holy war. We've already done our kingdom invasion, so we're going to do a holy war for, not a duchy, but rather for a kingdom here, and we don't have the faith. So this will cost us a level of devotion off of religious icon. But when we fight them, that'll be fine. That's not a big deal. So we're just going to grab this territory. It's not going to completely remove them, but it will get Aquitaine under our control. And that is fantastic. So we're going to do this. This will drop us down a level of devotion and put us negative in our piety. That's okay. We're going to raise up our troops somewhere around here. We'll raise our men-at-arms, and we'll raise our levy troops. Excellent. They have a holy order, so they have 20,000 troops. Not a big deal. Of course, this being a holy war means that we will regain that. Actually, we didn't lose a level of devotion. We're still a religious icon. Okay, whatever. So this guy joined the war. We're not surprised about that. 25,000 troops. Sure. That's okay. Allegedly 23 months on our men-at-arms arriving here. I don't believe that, though. I don't think that's true. We're going to go to around... he will pay for that insolence, for sure. And we'll imprison this guy, sure. Cool. He abandoned his scheme. That's great. So we're going to wait until our men-at-arms show up, but the question is, how many levy troops do we want to raise here? And I think the answer to that is somewhere around 45,000. Okay. We'll stop that gather, and we're going to split off our siege force. There we go. And these guys, I don't expect that there's anywhere where they can actually sit and not lose supplies without being split up, but there we go. The question now, of course, becomes, we split them over here. Not exactly, but close. We'll just move them over this way, I guess, and then split them again here. But the question now becomes, how long until our men-at-arms are properly here? Because this whole 21 months thing, that's probably just a knight and not our men-at-arms proper. Unfortunately, there's no indicator of when they will actually arrive. I wish that there was, but there is not. We do expect them to show up soon-ish. There they are. Perfect. So we're going to split off our bombards, and the rest of these are going to move down over this way. We're going to group these guys back together, and the question becomes, where are the Muslim troops at? The answer is down here. Our best bet to get there, and we'll group these guys together and start working on war score over here. Keep in mind this is a holy war, so we're not going to get any territory that we occupy outside of this, just because of the way that holy wars work. All counties in the targeted area for themselves. Yes. Yeah, so that's just the way that holy wars work. So we're going to have these guys actually come over here and embark. And then they're going to land over here and bypass all of this territory and make their way down over this way, like so-ish. We'll probably redirect them a little bit later on. These bombards managed to not get grouped together with this force. There we go. So we have a siege commander here already. That's perfect. And this guy's a siege commander as well, technically. So I guess that's fine. We are 2 direct vassals above our limit. That's not a shocker. And not a whole lot that we can do on that front for right now. Now we could work on creating titles. I don't know. 8 May. I have no idea where that came from. Okay. That's fine. Lost Tome rediscovered. So we got some lost knowledge. Cool. And we're just going to head on down over this way. I think we'll get there in time even. We'll arrive there in how long? 5 months. 7 months and 17 months. So yeah, we are actually going to get there in time. That's perfect. We are not going to have ticking war score for or against us for a while here, I believe. That's completely okay. So we're just going to grab this kingdom title and get out of here. This is a majority of their land, but we're not able to get all of it in this war. That's okay. We've got a lot of cleanup to do yet. Looks like we've gathered some territory over here. That's nice to see. Very nice to see indeed that our vassals are pushing borders. I'd like to see them pushing more borders. It seems like vassals were more willing to do external wars in CK2 than they are in CK3. I don't know. Just a observation. And one that's coming from my gut. I don't have, like, hard data on that. Okay, we won our siege up over here, and we're just going to continue to press in over this way. We're at 23% war score already. We don't really expect any issues here. Now, these guys did manage to get some progress faster than expected on their siege, but we're still going to get there in time. And they don't want anything to do with this fight. Unfortunately for them, they're going to have to fight this fight. So that's fine. They're moving over this way, which is not smart. They shouldn't be doing that. Are they going to continue? They're actually locked into us. We're going to get defensive war score or defensive bonuses in the mountains here. This is insane. Our siege is over, and so we should definitely move up over here and continue our siege. Perfect. And also, I'm hoping that in the new version, they've fixed this consistent stutter. It's a little bit irritating to me. It's not my computer. This is definitely something that the game is doing. It's very consistent. So yeah, hopefully that's something that they've fixed, but we don't know that for a fact, and that's okay. We will get to cover the new patch soon enough. It is, after all, 1364. Like, exactly 80 years. Or very close to it, until the end of the game. So, not too long on that front. We do have bombards. Machicolations will be done in 16 years, and we're hoping to max out the tech tree before the end of the game. I think that we will. We won this siege, of course. We're at 61% war score here. And we're slow sieging this. I don't expect that to get much progress. Okay. I'm dumb. We didn't have our men-at-arms down here. I split this up entirely wrong. Okay. Oh well. It's fine. We overpower this kingdom to such an absurd degree that it doesn't matter. But I definitely split it up wrong. And that is certainly my own fault, and I should have noticed that before now. But it really doesn't matter. It really, really doesn't matter. We're going to move on down over this way. We're at 65% war score at this time. We're actually making solid progress on this slow siege. Surprisingly so. So this holy war will be over soon enough, and, I mean, it's kind of wacky to me that we didn't lose our level of devotion. Definitely wacky, but okay. I'm fine with it. So their capital is all the way down here. And if they try to fight our siege force, they're going to fail. Cool. And then we'll come siege over here. It's interesting that the capital fort of the county is a lower level fort, for sure. Okay, and then we're going to move over this way. We are actually making surprisingly good progress on our slow siege, but we are starving. And they're just walking up over this way. We may want to find a location that we can resupply. Or move these guys out of here. Like this. Have them come up over here and split to resupply. That's probably a better idea. They'll get there eventually. Emphasis on the eventually. There we go. And we'll just move down over to here and resupply. Perfect. We're going to continue our siege up over this way with a smaller force, although this might be a too small force. We'll have to consider that. We're taking heavy attrition over here. That's to be expected. We're 93% war score here, and I do expect the war to be over with this siege, which is going to be done incredibly quickly. Although they did siege this back successfully, so that means we need another siege. Okay. We're going to group these guys together. They've managed to accumulate some supplies here, and they're going to come over here and fight this force. I don't want them to continue their sieges, and the war should now fully be won. Excellent. Between this battle and this siege, I do expect this to be a victory. Okay, we didn't need the siege, just the battle did the trick. So there we go. And we'll disband that. And of course we need to hand these out because we get all of the titles in a holy war. So that's definitely awkward. We'll go ahead and hand these out. Sure, that guy will be fine. So we're going to need to also create the Kingdom of Aquitaine if it's not already created. And I'm thinking about just giving that to West Francia. Like, I like having a super strong vassal out on this frontier. And I feel like overall that's probably a good plan. So we can hand out this as well. We're at 12 of 13 domain holdings, surprisingly. This is, of course, a whole lot of vassals. So we're well over our vassal limit. We are at 91 out of 70. Let's take a look at the kingdom title over here. Sultanate of Aquitaine. So we'll have to usurp that away from this guy. We will do exactly that. And then we'll grant that over to the Khan of West Francia. Like I said, I like having a super powerful vassal out over this way. We can deal with one super powerful vassal very easily by just constantly having an alliance with him. So we're going to grant him the Khanate of Aquitaine. 20 vassals will be transferred with. Beautiful. He can deal with organizing that however he sees fit. So how are we doing on our vassal count now? 71 of 70. I like it. That's nice. So we've got that all under control. And nothing really that we can do over here, but that's okay. Primogeniture is something that we do want to do fairly soon-ish. We'll see what gets focused after Ermine Cloaks. That'll be interesting for sure. How's our truce with the Byzantines looking? Actually, we don't have a truce with the Byzantines. We could do a de jure claim on the Duchy of Provence. And the same de jure claim on the county level. Yeah, that's all one county. So nothing too major there. Let's see what our vassal claims are looking like. Mediocre, just a single county. Ooh, that's a solid one. That's a solid claim there. That might be one that we go for. Yes. This is a good claim. I like it. So they have basically no troops. We're going to declare this. And we are going to drop a rally point up over here. Raise up our men-at-arms and our levy troops. How many of each are we going to need? The answer is not many. I can tell you that right now. We're not going to need many of them. Like, honestly, this is enough. We'll wait for our men-at-arms. Old Tangriism. That's rude. How rude indeed. We do have a new lifestyle point, and we're going to go for Administrator. Beautiful. So what does that actually get us? It's okay. Oh, right. We have the additional holding. So what do we want to do with that? Well, we want to go up to our capital over here. And we want to immediately revoke one of these baronies from, like, this guy. Give me that barony. Fantastic. Cool. Oh, that was actually a bit of an audio hiccup there. That's new. I mean, as we get into this ridiculously sprawling realm, I'm not surprised that the calculations are getting a bit intense. No doubt about that. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. So we're going to move in down over here, and hopefully our men-at-arms will arrive soon. Let's see, we're not taking attrition here, just. So that's good. We'd be slightly better off here. And in fact, we'll go ahead and move those guys over. I also want to make sure we have a siege commander here, and we do. So that's perfect. I guess we could go in and start a slow siege. Ah, there's our men-at-arms. Perfect. Come on over, men-at-arms. Fantastic. We must stop the villain behind this. So in we go, and we should have no real problem with this. Excellent. Yeah, these sieges are going to go super quick. Our stress level is up there a little bit, but I don't think that it's going to be a major issue. And I'm just kind of ignoring all of these betrothed can marry. The AI will actually enforce that on their own. So that's cool. There we go. Siege has been won, and ticking war score is not against us anymore. So we're just going to siege our way through this, and once again, I'm going to split off our levy troops. And this is just for the purposes of supply. We're going to take this down to around 5k, and this will sit at around 10k. And then these guys, they're going to park over here where they're not taking attrition. Cool. Just for purposes of supply and attrition there. Just logistical reasons. Excellent. So looking at supply limits over this way, it's a little grim on the supply limit front. Okay. Now, what is this other war that they're in? Okay, this is not against the top level ruler. This is an internal war in the Byzantine Empire. We also just inherited this de jure war. Okay. We're defending, huh? I see. Okay. We'll raise up a few troops, and I'm going to call in this band of mercenaries. I'm not going to call in the other because they cost like almost double for nearly the same number of troops. We're going to do something along the lines of this. And how many troops are we going to need here in total? Not a huge amount. We're going to need somewhere around 20 to 25,000. So that should be fine. And we'll just let them walk on over. Lose their supplies. Reasonably happy about that. Should be fine. We do have ticking war score on that, but we're going to want more than ticking if we can help it. They're sieging this relatively quickly. Oh yeah, they are. Do they have siege weapons here? I'm guessing they do. 10 bombards. 110 bombards in total. Okay. Sounds good. We're continuing to raise up our troops over here, of course. We'll get there eventually. He must burn for his crimes against Tancred. We actually gained a level of stress from that, but that's fine. We'll seek solace in our journal. So we have 20k here right now. 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. Excellent. So over we go. These guys have finished their siege. They're going to move on down. And we'll just have these guys be like... There's no positions over here that they can stand without taking attrition and be adjacent. That's sad. But for now, that'll be okay, I guess. And we're going to come down and fight this, like, rear guard that he's got set up here. I'm not sure what he's attempting to do with this. Lose, I think. I think lose is the correct thing that he's attempting to do. Okay. So, I mean, we win the battle. No doubt about that. This siege is going to finish up shortly. And I'm actually going to send these guys to go clear out the army of Jerusalem here as we proceed over this direction. White piece. I decline. Okay. We're going to see if we can siege this back in any sort of a reasonable time frame and get that ticking war score back on our side. And let's see what's going to go on over here. These guys have no leadership, and we definitely want to put a leader in here. So we'll go ahead and do that. Our rival died. That's good. They want nothing to do with fighting us. Fantastic. Yeah, this is fine. So these guys are actually sieging this pretty quickly. It's only a level 3 fort, so that's fine. Excellent. So the question, of course, becomes, how long will it take to wrap up this particular war? I mean, we're making good progress in it. The fact that this Jerusalemite army exists is a little bit rough, in that it makes things complicated for us, and we'd rather that they be simple. We've got this back now, and we're just going to head over here and see about slow sieging this capital. It's a level 7 fort, so I don't really expect too much there. But that should be fine. We're at 28% war score here. And I mean, the Byzantines are in a dire situation. Absolutely dire. This is great for us, of course. We've successfully broken them up. And now we can just kind of annex them piecemeal. It's exactly what we want. So that's great. This fort will fall in 20 days here, and then we'll go relieve these guys. I don't really want them slow sieging for 2 years. So that's fine. And this slow siege could happen. I mean, we could white piece this right now. Or we could not. That's also an option. Our neighbor won against our vassal in a holy war. That's not great. Very rude. We're going to make our way over to here and get that sieged. And once we arrive, we'll pull these guys somewhere where ideally they won't take as much attrition. Yeah, I mean, these supply limits are rough. Very, very rough over here. But that's okay. We will back off. What are we looking at here? 18 months? Okay. Let's go ahead and divide this at least in half. I want to split off the hired soldiers and special soldiers. And then divide this in half. And then these guys and these guys would group together. They are going to make their way up over here and see about chasing down this army. Whereas these guys will maintain the siege. And I want to make sure there's a siege commander in here. That does speed these up pretty dramatically. I thought I saw one there. What do we got? Here's one. Perfect. Okay. So we did just win the siege up over here, as expected. We're going to make our way in. And these guys are going to continue to stick kind of close. Supplies over here are really rough. There's no doubt about that. I'm a little surprised that we're only sitting at 42% war score here. That's definitely lower than I expected, but I guess the development over here is garbage or something? Or something. Definitely or something. Okay, so we're going to head out over here and see about chasing down this force. Beautiful. 20 months left over here allegedly, but it's actually 17 because we just got that disease outbreak. So that's great. And this siege will finish up. We're just going to continue moving in over this way. I would like to eliminate this force. They need to be removed from the area. And so over we will head. Bubonic plague? Throw him out. We don't want bubonic plague. That said, if we were to die now, this is not the end of the world. We did get our kingdom claims pressed, so that's fine. A good deed needs no repayment, but that reduces our stress level, and that's good. So we're going to fight those guys there. I want to check over here. We did catch this force, and actually we captured their leader, and so this war is over. Beautiful. Now for this war. Rival died. Always good. And let's see about catching these guys up over here. The bubonic plague outbreak is over. That was not much of an outbreak, but that was the point of throwing him out very quickly. The spy master needs to be replaced, and we'll put this guy in as the most qualified. We do catch this force. We, of course, aren't going to get war score from that. That's not a thing that's going to happen. But we can move up over here and start a slow siege on this occupied location. That'll be just fine. I was hoping to have this war done by the end of this episode. Unfortunately, it does look like it's time to put a cut in. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and we'll wrap this up at the beginning of next episode. I mean, we're not expecting too much for difficulties here, right? This should not be a challenge. So that will be just fine. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.